Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's Team Tips on Outlook. We've got about 140 that registered for the session, so we're just giving everybody the opportunity to join and participate. If you have not attended a Team Tips previously, I do want to let you know that you can pause at any time by simply hovering over the video. You can pause and rewind so that if there's anything that we're covering today that you need to review, simply go back and you can review that. Or if you need to pause and find it on your computer and your software, feel free to do that as well. If needed, closed captioning is available. You can locate that in the bottom right corner of your screen and turn it on. So thank you so much for joining us. We do make use of the chat here, and so if you're wanting to engage with us, if you have questions, please post them in the chat as we're moving along. We do have two chat moderators today. Dennison and Brian are behind the scenes and they're available to answer your questions. In addition, we have a number of student workers that are going to be presenting as well as supporting today's session. So just as I always open the door for our participants, I open the door for our students here that this is a experiential learning. So we want to be sure that you're able to learn and engage, and same goes with them. So as we're maneuvering through slides, transitioning between speakers, the students are learning how to maneuver in a live event. So we just have that grace and understanding that we are all here to learn and enhance our skills today. So with that, in just a moment, we're going to pull up the slides, and I'm going to talk a little bit first about some of our upcoming events. We have a couple coming up that I wanted to draw your attention to. The first one we're offering is a training on Teams live events, which is what today's session is. So if you have never run a live event, if you're wanting to understand a little bit more about what goes on and how to host one of these sessions, we have a Teams live training. We do that in a small group so that you can ask questions and be engaged. And if you haven't attended one before, you can use your smartphone to scan these QR codes and register, or we're going to have that posted in the chat as well, a link that will take you directly there so that you don't have to worry about trying to scan those QR codes if that's not your favorite thing to do. So in addition to Teams Live, we have a Teams orientation coming up. And Teams orientation is designed as a basic training in Teams. So if you're unfamiliar with some of the features, if you haven't had the opportunity to toy around with some things, and you just want that open practice environment, then we make that available to you. And also, if you know of any new students or new employees, I encourage you to share that information with them, because we would love to equip people at the very start so that they can feel confident and comfortable in using Teams. Okay, the next thing that I wanted to bring to your attention is next, please, Ritika, is our upcoming, oh, nope, actually, we have a couple of giveaways. For all of our events, we like to give you guys just a little gift of appreciation for registering in advance and for attending this session today. So in just a moment, um, we're going to go ahead and pull up that spinner wheel. So if y'all don't mind transitioning to that, and we'll pull that spinner wheel up, and we're going to notify a couple of people. If you registered early, then your name will be in this spinner, and you'll have the opportunity to win a few prizes. In addition, we just posted in the chat, we drew a few names. So if your name is in the chat, go check really quick. I know it's exciting. Go check and see if your name's in the chat, and we'll be sure to get those prizes to you. Okay, let's go ahead and spin the wheel real quick and see who our first prize winner is. Okay, and I can barely see that. Adita, yay! Congratulations for your prize. So exciting. Okay, so let's spin again. And all of these prizes, we will email you the full details of how to pick up your Microsoft Teams swag. You can go ahead and spin again. But we'll email you those details so that you'll be aware of how to pick that up. Everything is on campus for you and ready for you. So as soon as we know who's next, I can barely see it. Aurora, yay! Congrats. That's awesome. All right, let's do one more. Okay, it's so tiny I can barely see it. Nora, congratulations. So, yay to all of you that won prizes. We're going to transition now back to our slides for today's session. But we do just like to show our gratitude to you all for coming and attending these sessions. I know it's time out of your schedule. I know it's extra effort to be here and to learn this new information. So, okay, so perfect. Campus Communicators is the other thing I wanted to talk to you about. And for this, I have to share a little story. So you're going to have to forgive me as I digress off topic here. But this past weekend, I took my family, we went to Austin and just had a weekend away. And this was on my heart all weekend um, for our campus communicator group. This is a group that we have in teams. So while we were in Austin, we ended up going to Zilker Park and playing volleyball. Well, a form of volleyball. I'm not sure if you've heard of it. It's called Newcomb. My kids have played it. I kind of thought that they made it up, but apparently it's a thing, and it's a very different version of like regular volleyball. Um, and if you don't know, Austin has an incredible school for the deaf there, and so we had this amazingly unique experience with these kids ranging from age 5 to 15, and us adults, I won't disclose our ages, playing at the park in this volleyball court and surrounded by children that were deaf. We wanted to be inclusive. We wanted to make sure everyone was able to participate. So I went back to my old school baby sign language for wanting to play or to do more, asking please, everything I learned in those baby signing classes to try to encourage those deaf children to be able to play with us. And through all of us working together, through trying to do hand signals, trying to be able to let them lip read, we're able to explain this version. Ratika, I'm sorry, I'm not able. There you go. We're able to explain this version of volleyball and let them all be able to participate in the game. Everyone could get on the same court and engage. And I'm telling you, it was a better game and activity because everyone was there. Some of the kids that were there were the best spikers, were the best, the fastest, the best divers. And because we were able to include everyone, find a common ground of communication, we were all engaged in this fun activity. All that to say, Campus Communicators was on my heart the entire time we were playing that game. Y'all, this team is that court. If you want to be a part of a group that finds a common ground, that brings everyone to the table, that's willing to share in helping one another and lifting each other up and collaborating on information, then this is a team that I want you to be able to join. So I've included the link in the slide and I've included the link in the chat. But that's what this group does. We all share our ideas. We give updates to each other on what we're doing. And as a group, departments from all over campus come together, collaborate, and get in on the same game so that we can elevate the service that we bring to campus. So if you haven't already joined, please hear me in asking you to be able to participate. This is an open invitation, and we want your insight and we want your assistance there on that team. Okay, next, let's move on to our session. I want to give you a quick disclosure about the event and our session today. There are so many versions of Outlook, and each one has a little bit of unique tendencies, let's say. So we decided that today's session would be best served if we're showing you everything from a Windows desktop account. Now, the majority of what we're showing you will also apply on a Mac, but because of what we had access to and what we had access to test, primarily we're focusing on the Windows version and the desktop version. So I know a lot of students use the web-based version. A lot of the features are still available there. They may just be in a slightly different place. So I just wanted to be able to have that disclosure. And if you don't already have a desktop account set up, I've put a link on the slide as well as in the chat so that you can have a knowledge-based article, and it gives you a step-by-step way of how to set it up so that you do have a desktop account. So I just wanted to set that expectation for today's training. And the next that I have is bringing on one of our incredible student workers. She works a lot of times behind the scenes, serving and responding to help desk tickets for anything related to Microsoft 365. And it is my pleasure to welcome her and to introduce her to you all today. So Ritika, if you don't mind, go ahead and let's join. And she's going to be talking specifically about Outlook Calendar.
Thank you, Amanda, for introducing me. It is an honor to be speaking for Teams Tips today. Well, I am an M365 specialist at the Office of Information and Technology. I would like to thank Amanda once again for giving me the opportunity to be a small part of Teams Tips. It is an honor to be speaking in front of all of you. Now, let's get started. I'm going to show you some of the tricks and features on Outlook calendars. Don't we all love a well-organized calendar? I'm going to share a few tips and tricks here about Outlook calendars. Some of these tricks you might know, some of these you might not. I'm going to start by talking about shared calendars. How many of y'all wish that you did not receive the same email asking about your availability 100 times? Sharing your calendar or using shared calendars is the solution to that. We're going to show all the tips on the desktop version of Outlook today, which is very, very similar to the Outlook web application. So first, to open calendars, first open the Outlook desktop application. Once you have done that, you can navigate to the bottom left of the screen where you should see a small calendar icon next to the mailbox icon. When you click on that, it should show you all of your calendars, and it should also let you switch between the calendar that you wish to view. You can also switch between the mailbox and the calendar by hitting Control-1 for the mailbox and then Control-2 for the calendars. After the calendar is open, by clicking on the calendar icon, you can navigate to the Home tab of the ribbon right above the screen. On the left side of the screen, where you can see a list of all the calendars available to you, select the calendar that you would like to share, and then click on Share Calendar from the same ribbon above. This should open a small dialog box where you can enter the email address of whom you want to share your calendar with. Type in the email of the recipient and then check the box. Allow recipient to view your calendar if it is not checked already. You can also check the box above that says Request permission to view recipient's calendar to get access to their calendar. That is if you would like to view the recipient's calendar as well when you're sending them the request. Once you have done that, you can also edit the permissions for the user before sending the invite. From the drop-down under Details, you can choose from Availability Only, Limited Details, or Full Details. And that's to say pretty much from the words themselves. Availability Only gives them no details of your calendar, and you can view just the availability. If they're busy, if they're free, if they have a break in between, anything like that. Limited details would give you some more information regarding their time on the calendar. And full details, of course, gives you all of the details that you would like to know. Once you have selected these permissions, click on Send, and you have now shared your calendar. Now, there is also another way to add users to a calendar. Let's go back to that calendar and click on that same calendar icon on the bottom left of the screen. From there, click on Calendar Permissions from the Home tab in the same ribbon above. This should pop up a dialog box again. Click on the Permissions tab of that window if you're not there already. Then, click the Add button. You can then add a user by searching them by their name. This should display all the contacts of everybody in the UT Dallas directory. Click Add once you are done. You have now added the user. You can also edit the permission level of the users within the same window. From the drop-down under Permission Levels, you can choose from a variety of options available, such as Owner, Author, Editor, Publishing Editor, etc. When you give the user the permission levels of an owner, they have the exact same permissions as you. They're able to read, write, and edit the calendar just as you are able to do it. You can also click on each permission level available to view and view what each level has access to. And then you can also choose what level fits the best for your requirement. If none of these options fit, you can also make your own custom permissions by manually checking the permissions that you would like to give to your user. Once you have selected the level or created your own custom permissions, click on Apply. You have now shared your calendar and edited the permissions. Now, once you have given access to people to view all the details of your calendar, but still want to keep some things private, for example, a doctor's appointment, you can still do that regardless of how many people have access to your calendar. And I'll show you how to do this right now. Simply go back to that Calendar tab again, view the calendar and the event that you would like hidden from everyone that you shared your calendar with. Click on that event, and then this should automatically display the Appointment tab in that ribbon above. From the Appointment tab, click on Private. This simple step will just hide this appointment from everyone and make your appointment private. Now, I'm going to be talking about publishing calendars to the internet. You can publish any calendar you wish online, and people with the link can view it. You might want to publish your calendar for various reasons. You could be running an event, or you want to share with a large group of people, and just having access to it on the internet could be another great way of sharing calendars. So let's dive right into it. From the left side of the screen, check the calendar that you wish to publish to the internet. In the Home tab of the ribbon above, click on Publish Online, and then click on Publish this calendar. This will open the Outlook web application and display the Shared Calendar Settings window. Under the Publish a Calendar section, select the calendar you wish to publish. Select the permissions from the available options, and then click on Publish. This should generate two links for you. One of them is an HTML link, and another one of them is an ICS link. I will explain to you what both of those links here are just shortly. The HTML link is basically for you to share it with your intended audience. It is a URL, and once you click on it, it should take you to the website directly. Once you click on that, you should be able to view the full details of the shared calendar. The ICS link can be used to import the calendar or subscribe to the calendar within the Outlook desktop application. I will show this to you just in a minute here. Now, if you want to import this calendar, copy the link, the ICS link from the Outlook web application, and then from there, open the desktop application again, go to the ribbon, and then click on Open Calendar from the Home tab, and then select from the Internet. Paste the URL that you just copied and then click Yes. This will add the Internet calendar to your calendar on the desktop application. Now, let's talk about shared mailboxes that also come with their own shared calendar. Shared mailboxes can be created especially for departments needing their own standalone calendar. Any member of the shared mailbox can create, view, or manage appointments on the calendar just like they would their own personal appointments. Everyone who is a member of the shared mailbox can see their changes to the shared calendar. These calendars can be used for various reasons, such as blocking vacation or sick time. These are also tremendously helpful when it comes to viewing availability of the members in the department. Shared mailboxes can now be added on the mobile application of desktop of Outlook as well, and this allows you to have access to the shared calendar. The calendar comes with the shared mailbox under My Calendars and not Shared Calendars, just so you don't get confused. Now that you know how to share your calendar, you probably also want some information on scheduling and organizing your meetings. Amanda, what tips do you have on meeting organizations in Outlook?
Thanks, Ratika. That was amazing. Soy, just to help with the visibility, I'll ask that you go ahead and close down of the additional shared calendars. And if we can go up into calendar and then view, we'll be able to, and I think Soy will need to be sharing just right now. Sorry, thank y'all for your flexibility and jumping around. So Soy, if you'll share your content, we'll go ahead and get that up and we'll get the calendar. I know I did receive a comment that it can be a little bit hard to read, so we're going to try to ensure that we're walking through each and everything so that you're able to find it on your own device. And just a reminder that this will be recorded and we will post it on the YouTube channel so you'll be able to get and zoom in a little bit better so that you can see the content that we're sharing. So one of the things that I was going to talk about was scheduling assistant, and I know I've shown this before, but I always get those questions as to trying to find a meeting time with a group and to understand how you can see somebody's schedule. So from the calendar, if you navigate to the little calendar icon and select that you want to create a meeting and select that new appointment, it's going to pull up some options for you. So once that loads, you'll get just your typical new meeting appointment. And on there, let's go ahead and invite a few attendees just so that we can look at their schedules. So if you navigate, um, perfect. So if you navigate to the top there, let's ask Dennison and Brian Sherwood what their schedules are like. Let's see how quickly we can line up with them. So we'll invite a couple of attendees. Um, it's Dennison Rice and Brian Sherwood. They're hiding. They don't want me to add anything else to their schedule. I know. I'm so sorry. So once we get them added, then at the top of the toolbar, you'll notice there's an icon that says Scheduling Assistant. When you select the Scheduling Assistant, Teams and Outlook are going to automatically look at each individual's schedule and assess based on the time and the date and assess who is available. So if you'll notice at the bottom of the screen, you have the start and the end time for the suggested meeting. You can adjust those because all of our schedules fill up very quickly. So let's try picking a time, maybe sometime next week, and see if we have better luck finding everyone's availability. So looking at next week, you can see at a glance the blue bars on top are going to identify when somebody is busy or is unavailable. And over on the right column, it also will tell you, and it has the little icons to show you when the best meeting time will be. So you can try pulling this up also on your Outlook. We're not able to really zoom in on this, but you can try pulling it up. And just so you know where it is and how to access it, that's the main thing that we're wanting to get across. So you can find the scheduling assistant there. All it's listing are the times that are possible to meet. But that scheduling assistant is always there and available in meetings. So if you do need to reach out to somebody and figure out a time, you can create a meeting, invite them, and check and use that scheduling assistant to determine the best time that you as a group can meet. So that, in a nutshell, is scheduling assistant, and I know we've shown that before. But in addition, there's a couple of other options that you can do. And the next thing that I want to be able to share with you is how to find time. So if we'll close out of this meeting, Brian, Denison, you're lucky. I'm not going to book anything on your calendar right now. So we can close out of that. And what we're going to do, Find Time, is actually an add-on in Outlook. So it's something that we're going to be able to add on together, and I'm going to go through the steps of how to do that so that you can do this on your own as well. So from Outlook, you can search for add-ons, or let's see, I think in the search bar is where we found it last time, the easiest. So tell me what you want me to do, and Find Time. So you can search for it that way, and it's going to pull up the different add-ons that you can receive. So there's a lot that you can add on. Find Time is one that I have found to use quite regularly. So if you want to go ahead and search for Find Time, it's going to pull up the add-on that we can add on. So you just click, and then you would actually select Add, and it's going to add that to your Outlook calendar. What's so great about this option is that it creates a poll for anybody that you are interested in participating. So this is especially useful if you have a lot of external guests, so the scheduling assistant wouldn't work for somebody outside of UT Dallas. And say you still need to be able to access it and receive it. So it may not work on this test account, and that's okay. Soy, I have sent the test account an email that we can look at and see exactly what those polling options look like to an external guest or even to ourselves. And I believe I titled it Find Time in the email. Beautiful. Can you double click on that? Let's get a little bit bigger so our audience can see that better. Thank you. So Find Time is going to create and generate a poll that you can use and send out to participants. When they receive it, they'll receive an email and it'll state the times that you're available as well as how you can vote to respond to a particular time. Um, and I do want y'all to be able to see this. So I'm going to see if I can pull it up on mine real quick. Since mine's not the dummy test account, it may show up a little bit more easily. So I'm going to take over sharing real quick just so that our audience can see this because I do think it's so valuable when you're trying to book a number of people. Okay, wonderful. So first we need to add a few attendees. And you can see automatically, I'm going to be emailing Dennis in a time. So he unfortunately didn't get to escape this time, but you can see it pulls up on the right, a calendar. So we can go ahead and progress a little bit further on this calendar. Because like I said, our schedules are crazy. But you'll see on the right side, after you've added Find Time, it's this little orange icon at the top that says Find Time Meeting Poll. So you select that, and it's going to find times that both of your schedules have you available. These little green icons show that we're good. We're good to go. We've found a match, that there's time in both of our schedules that we can get connected. So you can review, let's say the week of the 23rd at Denison. We've got some very important things to discuss that week. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to pick a couple of dates that looks like he may be available as well. And I'm just picking random times now. You could certainly consult your schedules if you need to, but it does tell you the days that you're busy. So I picked a couple of options for the days that it shows us in green as both available. From there, you select next. And I know this is going to be really small, so I'm sorry. This is as zoomed in as I can. Let me just try. Let me see. Nope, it's just going to make my name really big, but keep it small on the side. So that's not very useful. Um, but on the sidebar here, I'll just read these off to you. So you can be notified at any time about the polling updates. So when somebody votes and says they're available or not, you can turn that on. You can have it auto schedule, so you don't have to go back and forth with are you available now or later. You can have it auto schedule. Once everyone agrees on a time, you're going to be able to have it scheduled for you. If you don't want it to and you want to be able to assess that final time, you can do that. If you're like me and your calendar is out of control, you can have it hold those selected dates and time on your calendar. It'll automatically put a little hold, which blocks your schedule since you know you have an important meeting coming up. Um, and so it just has a few other options that you can select. They're automatically on default. So if you don't even want to mess with those, you don't have to. But it's going to show you a preview here of the days and times that you selected. If you realize, oh, Monday at 11, sorry, that's a spa day. Denison is out. I know he's going to be at the spa that day. We can go ahead and take that one off and eliminate that option and look for a couple of other times. So we show here 3 times, and I think that's a good enough array of times. So I'm going to add that to the email to Denison. So it's going to be added to the email so that we can let that voting begin. I'm going to zoom out of that text. And then you can send it. And if you realize that you've had a change in date or time, you can still edit it and go back and forth and still be able to add it there. Now it actually took. So you Oh, I'm sorry, I got distracted. Lisa sent a note. I'll let y'all respond to that in chat. I get distracted easily, y'all. So find time does have to be added on, and so that may take a couple of additional steps to add this on. But you can see here, once it adds it to your email, it's going to send him 3 options. I'll go ahead and send that to Denison. Find a time, and we'll let him take that poll real quick and find a time for us to meet and interact. So as soon as he responds to that poll, I'm going to get an email notification saying that he received it and responded. And then from there, we can determine if we want to book that appointment or not. So it's a quick way rather than having the back and forth with a bunch of um, prospective candidates or people. It's a quick way to be able to have that information. So let's see here. I'm going to stop sharing for now and just go full screen here. We'll wait just a minute so that email can come in and I'll get that pulled up. Beautiful. So let me share again and we can go split screen. Abby, if you don't mind. Thank you so much. So you can see he's responded. I've pulled that email up. Oh, let's see, we can split screen now. I've pulled that email up so that you can see the different dates and times and be able then to assess when Denison is available and when we want to schedule that. So it sends you a synopsis. So no matter, it doesn't have to be just 2 people. It can be a number of people that you're polling and getting this information from. And then I'm going to stop sharing now. And Soy, let's go back to your content and we'll get that screen up, I sent another email to that test account that I wanted you to be able to share. Um, and so the next email that I sent, let's see here. So we got the find time. That's beautiful. Yeah, let's click on that one. Okay, so if you want to double click on that, we'll just see what it says. But I believe it was, and it's tiny on my screen, y'all, in Teams Live. So I apologize. I'm going to squint and show my age. But I would really like an update on this project by May 8th, no later than 2 p.m. So have y'all gotten emails like this where somebody needs information or is expecting you to remember to remind them? I get those all the time, and it's quite a challenge. I can barely remember to remind myself of something. So I live off my calendar for reminders, and there's an easy way to do this. And y'all, this is the first thing in the history of the world that I knew before Brian Sherwood. I'm telling you, I feel pretty special. The first and possibly the only thing that I knew before him. So Soy, if you take this email and if you click um, that center column that's listing all of your emails, if you click on that email, you can drag and drop it to the calendar icon. There you go, drag and all the way down there and drag to the calendar and we can let it go, set it free, and it's going to automatically create a reminder for you. So you just need to put in those details at the top. Reminder to give Amanda this feedback, however you want to list it. You can look at the date and the time and whatever your message so you know when your deadline is, and you're able to drag and drop that on your calendar. So if there's a time when you get an email and maybe it's for an event like this and you don't have the link, or if you want to hold it on your calendar when these emails come out, you just drag and drop it over to your calendar and then you can add in the date and time. This is great anytime you want to give yourself a reminder to ensure you're meeting deadlines. Um, and then it's going to, when it emails you the reminder and it puts it on your calendar, you're going to get the copy, all of the content that was in that email, so that when it pops up on your calendar and it says that you need to give deadline to Amanda reminder, you're going to be able to read the content of that email and remember exactly what it is that you owed somebody else. Okay, so that is a great quick tip to help manage your inbox and to be able to ensure that you're getting all of those details. So, Soy, we're going to move back to calendar and go ahead and click on that calendar icon. And let's look at my calendar for tomorrow, if we can pull that up. And I believe you can X out of that first calendar while I know it's loading. But you should be able to, does it not want to pull up my schedule? Is it so intimidated? I don't know. It's blank. Well, that's okay. If it doesn't, we can still look at the calendar that's on the main calendar there, and we'll be able to look at one of those that's already color coded. So if you want to pull open one of those events by double clicking on it, or you can right click to open it, either way will open it up. So if you've had the horror of seeing my calendar before, you see it's quite busy. Um, but I love to color code things. It helps me to understand what my schedule entails, what meetings I'll be walking into, but that way I can know exactly what's happening. So for me, I color code using the categorize tag. When you have a event open at the top banner of that event, you can click on the categorize icon. When you click on that, it will have information that's by default. I personally select my own color categories and I can change those categories and change the names. So for me, I know that for me, Teams Tips is always an orange. So as is being demonstrated on the screen, you can click on that and you can edit the name of any of these colors. You can add colors if there's only certain colors that you like to work with or that you want identified on your screen. But you can modify and change any of those with just the click, and it's It's a quick edit so that you can determine how you want to categorize your information. You can do this with tasks as well on your calendar so that you just want to have everything in its specific set categories. Um, I do this for all of my events and for all of my meetings so that I know kind of what bucket each thing falls into and how to best prepare or respond to the meeting that I'm about to enter. So I know just by looking at the color what I'm getting myself into. So if you don't already color code, that's just a neat feature. And y'all, let's see. So I've got to pull up Teams and show it on Teams too. I know. Okay, somebody just said they wish they could color code their boss's calendar. Preach. Totally, totally hear that. Okay, I'm going to share real quick, Soy, because I have to show this. This is a new feature that when we were preparing for this session was not available, but now is available. And that's, look, Teams has color coding too. Is it so exciting? Y'all, I have been waiting for this since I started at UT Dallas. And yes, it's that important to me. But I can take a look and be able to know exactly what's happening by just looking at the colors on my screen. And so if you don't already utilize this, it really is helpful to get your mindset in the right spot and to track your time if you're trying to keep track as to how much time do I really spend in live events or preparing for Teams tips? Well, you can get a set categorization there and take a look at that. So I think I've come to the end of the hot topics that I was going to share, but we do have another speaker that's going to be sharing with you all today. And I am very pleased to introduce Meg Delight. So Meg Delight is another student employee that we have here on campus, and you may have heard me mention her before. She's on my team. She helps with these live events a lot, and she's an incredible resource and just support for our team as well. She's going to talk to you. So we talked about calendaring. We talked about ways to organize your calendar with color coding, finding time, and she's going to talk a little bit more about specifically organizing your inbox. What are some things you can do to control the chaos? So, Meglai, would you help us control our chaos?
Thank you, Amanda. Now I'll go over some helpful features Microsoft Outlook has that allows you to organize and manage your emails by folders for easy access. Soy, can you share the content? I can go over how you can create and manage your folders. From your Outlook desktop app, navigate to where it says folder on the top ribbon. Then click on New Folder. You will see a Create New Folders page will appear. Enter the name of the folder in the Names field, and then in the bottom section of the window, you should be able to see where you want to locate the folder. Select the location and then click on OK to complete. A quick shortcut you can use to easily create a folder is by going through the left corner of your screen and right-clicking on your name. Then you'll see New Folder tab. When you click on it, it will display a field for you to enter the name of the folder. You can use this method to create a new folder by navigating to where you want to create the new folder and just clicking on the by right-clicking on it. Next, I'll show you how you can move your emails to that created folder. To move an email to an existing folder, you just drag it and drop the email into the folder. So by clicking on it, you'll see the email you just moved. To delete this folder, if you don't need it anymore, all you have to do is right-click on the folder again and select Delete Folder option. Right there. And sometimes you used an email folder that you created, you put a few emails in there, but now you want to recover it and get it back. all you have to do is find the delete folder section. You expand the delete item to see the folder you have deleted. As you can see, folders are a very helpful feature you can use, and it can make navigating through your emails a lot easier. Another thing I'll cover is drafts. Outlook attempts to save your email you're composing so you don't lose your work. If you attempt to close an unsent message without sending it, Outlook will ask you if you want to save the message as a draft. If you want to finish the email you started, you can continue where you left off. All you have to do is find the draft section, and underneath the inbox tab, you can just save that. Try to exit out of there and see, as you can see, it asks you if you want to save it as a draft. By going to your drafts, it's usually located right underneath inbox. You can continue where you left off. That is a very helpful feature. Another thing I'll cover today is tasks. Task in Outlook is a feature that allows you, it's kind of like the same thing as lists in Teams. Many people keep a to-do list on paper, in a spreadsheet, or in a combination of both. In Outlook, you can combine these various lists into one. You can set reminders, you can track progress, and multiple other things. To do this, go to the New Group section located in the Home tab. And you just click on New Item, then choose Task option. You will fill in this information as needed, like the subject, the time, the dates there, and a little bit of the description in the box at the bottom. One thing about this task is you can use this for yourself. You want to set reminders for you to complete a certain thing on your task list. Another feature task has is also assigning tasks to other people in your team. You can close out of this, and I can show you how you can save and close. Yes, to save and close is to just come back to it later on. To do this for other people, repeat the same steps that I showed you earlier by going to your New Items, Task, and on the top corner, you'll see Assign Task right there. In the task, do the following to create it, to assign a task. And enter the name and email address of the person you want to assign the task to. Add the subject to clarify what it is for. Choose a start and end date for the task. Another thing here, important thing, is the status and priority. The priority, you can set it to high if it's something important that needs to be done quickly. At the bottom there, you'll see two checkboxes. The checkboxes, one is for the keep an updated copy of this task on your task list. The other one is to send you a status report when the task is complete. This allows you to know if your coworkers or teammate have completed a task, and you'll be notified of this, their progress. If you want this task to repeat, you could do that by clicking on the recurrence ribbon. And when you're done filling out the description and everything there, you just click on send. Okay, yes. And then if you see it right next to right there is where you can send the task when you're done filling it out. Send it. And let's do one more thing. I want to cover how you can flag your email. Flagging email is a way to remind yourself to follow up on an email. Maybe you want to access it again. because there's some information that you want to get. But to do that, go to your inbox and you just hover over the message. You'll see there's a couple of options on the right side. You click on the flag. That just flagged your email. To unflag it, you do the same thing again. That is a very easy way to keep your messages and prioritize one from the other. I think I covered everything for today. If you have any questions, I'll be willing to answer them. Amanda, back to you.
Thank you, Meghalite. That was awesome. I love the attention to detail and the information that you provided. I know we had a few questions from individuals, just clarifications. So tasks in Outlook are the same as in the To-Do app, just so you know that they are those the same. Tasks can be color coded. You can use the categorization option as well in tasks in order to kind of keep that consistency that you have with your meetings and to be able to flag those tasks that could be related to those projects and meetings that you're working on. So I know we're coming to the conclusion, I do see that we're getting a few more questions. So our chat moderators are busy responding to those. If you do have additional questions, please keep them coming in. We will continue to respond to you as soon as those come in. So if you have missed any of our past sessions and would like to catch up on an array of information from breakout rooms to PowerPoint to Microsoft Sway, all of those are available on our YouTube channel. So you can see we're displaying the YouTube channel right now, so you can see how much content is out there. We have multiple playlists available. So if you're looking for just a quick tip, we have some 30-second videos in there, or we have the longer trainings like this where we're able to go into a little more detail and a little more depth with you on all of these topics. So if you haven't already subscribed, please do. We're happy to share that information with you. And finally, as we wrap up and in closing, I like to always make it available for you to tell us how we did. Um, I certainly don't have this job because I am the best at technology or the most informed, but because we're willing to work at learning these tools with you and for you and to partner beside you in preparing these trainings based on the request that we receive from you. So if there's a topic that you're interested in, that you want to learn more about, please complete our survey. Tell us how we did this time and tell us how you would like us to approach future topics. So there's some on that survey that you can kind of vote on to let us know where to focus our attention. But this is all community driven. This is sessions that we provide based on the feedback that we receive. So I hope that you will take a moment and write us a note and let us know how things went. So with that, we'll go ahead and close and we'll leave this up and be answering. I do see a few questions coming in, so we'll leave that QR code you can scan, and it's also in the chat, and we'll leave this up for just a few minutes.